Hello, welcome to my new video on document understanding with generative extractor. So in the previous video, we explored how the generative classifier and the generative extractor works. We also explored the same extractor with some unstructured document to see how the data is getting extracted. But in this video, we will look at how we can use the generative extractor to extract tabular data and also try to see how we can do a little bit of data manipulation, format changes while the extraction is happening through the extractor itself. So let's get started. So in this video, I already have a workflow that I have created, and also in the previous video, I took the data from a Google Drive. But in this one, we'll see how we can use that IResource variable where we gave the input to this extract document data and how we can create that IResource variable for our internal or local documents. So to start with, here I'm going to extract all the data first into a data table. And so I have created a build data table activity here where I have defined all the tables. So here I have the invoice number, the extractor confidence, OCR confidence, vendor name, and likewise. So I have a couple of fields over here. These are regular fields. So what we are going to process is a simple invoice. So all these fields will contain the extracted data along with the extractor and the OCR confidence. And here we have a loop to loop through the documents. I'll show you the documents in a short while. And inside this loop, this is a for each file in folder loop. Inside this loop, I am using this path exist activity. So what happens in this activity is, here we can check whether this file exists or not. So you may wonder why we are having this activity inside a loop that goes in for each file. So the purpose of this activity for now is not to check whether the file exists. The purpose of this activity is to create that resource or the reference um, variable. So here under output options, you can see the exist option, and this is a new one. Reference if path exists. So that path, I'm actually adding it to a variable called file resource. So this file resource is iLocal resource type. So this is the variable I'm going to use inside my data extractor in the next step. So here I have the activity, and then what I have is the extract document data, and you can see the input file is that file reference variable, and I'm using the predefined generative extractor. And here in the prompts, I have specified 9 prompts. So this is where I'm going to do the extraction and also do the data manipulation to fit everything into the format that I need. So let's get to that. So in here you can see the fields that I need to extract, the invoice number, vendor name, and likewise. So up to this VAT amount is just regular fields. But you can see something here. So I'm just not just extracting the information. So for some of the fields I have like what is the invoice number, what is the vendor name, and so on. But in addition, for some fields I have also specified the format that I need. So for example, if it's the due date, I want the due date extracted and given to me in this format. So to get started, let me also quickly show you a document so you can easily see. So here in this invoice, you can see the due date is in a different format. So what I need is this date has to be converted into month, date, and year format. So we can do it in two different ways. One, you can extract this as it is and then do the conversion yourself by writing a code, or else you can simplify that whole process by changing your prompt to do the extraction and also do the conversion. So you don't need any extra activities to do that. So your validation process becomes simpler and easier. So that's one. The next one, these numeric fields. So you can see I'm actually asking for a specific format here. So why is that? So when it comes to numbers, in different countries they use different formats. So for example, here in this invoice, you can see this number. The thousand separator is actually the dot, and comma is the decimal separator. So it depends on your region, your country, and likewise. Um, but to make it standard, if we can extract all this information in a single format, then it's much easier for you to do your data type conversions and all those other calculations. So to support that, while extracting, I'm saying do this conversion and give it to me. So that is easier. So this is how you do a little bit of manipulation, little bit of format changes in the data that you extract. So then comes the line items. So in the line items, I have tried two different ways. So here you don't have an option to define a table yet, but you can do it easily by changing your prompt. So I have tried it in different ways. One is extract the line items in a JSON format. So that's what happens here. And the other one is extract all the line items in a tabular format. So it will be a string with some separator in it. So we'll be using that separator to build a data table. So those are the two options here. So let's see how we can do that. So here what I am doing is, here I am saying extract all these items and put everything into this JSON format. So let me show you in a better way. Okay, so this is the JSON. So here you can see extract items in JSON. This is the item, and here inside it's an array sort of. So here for the quantity I'm giving the value, and the value should be here. And I'm also trying to extract the confidence. Same goes for unit price. Same goes for the amount. So depending on the number of line items here, this JSON should change and accommodate all the line items. But here we are just giving a sample for it to use. So it should use its intelligence to repeat the content here if you have multiple line items. So that's one approach. In the next approach, I'm saying extract all this into a data table, a tabular format, and I should also get the numbers in the format that I need. So this parameter was not there in the JSON format because of the length limitations. It has only the prompt can only be written up to 150 characters for now, but it may change sometime. So we will be using this prompt to see how the data will be extracted, and we'll be using that string to convert it to a data table. So this is how, for now, in this video, we are going to extract the tabular data. So there can be other approaches and there can be other ways of converting this data, doing calculations. So we'll look into those as well as we go. So for the purpose of this video, this is the main area that we are going to focus on. So here we have defined the type and the tabular data. And once the data is extracted, I'm going to load all that information, the simple fields first, to this table that I defined here. So this table only contains the simple fields. There's a little bit of extra columns here. And the tabular data, I'll be using a different way to store that. So here in the add data row, I have defined um, array row as the input, and for each field like the invoice number, vendor name, I'm going to extract the value, extractor confidence, and the OCR confidence. So all that will be loaded into the data table. So once that is done, it's the simple field. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to generate that uh, data table that this extractor activity gives. I'm not using the JSON for now because once you have the JSON, you can easily use the web API activities to convert that in the format that you need. So I'm mainly going to focus just for this video how we can use this string output and convert that to a data table. So here I'm using the generate data table from text activity based on the format that I have tested. So we'll also look at how this data looks like before executing these activities. So I have configured it to use the column separator as this and the new line separator and get the data in a tabular format and then add that data into a new data table. So this will be generating that, and for that I will also add the extractor confidence, the OCR confidence. So the results come in like this. The default, I'm setting the default value actually. So it will apply to all the rows because as of now this OCR confidence and the extractor confidence applies to each field, not for each multiple fields that we extract under each prompt. So once you do that, then I'm just simply writing everything into output Excel file. So in the same file under simple fields, I will add the simple fields data. Under line items, I'll add the data that I generate through this activity. So that is how the flow works. To start, let's quickly look at the invoices we have. So I am using two invoices here. One is this invoice, which you already saw, and this is the other one. So this is a simple invoice. So here let's see in each invoice how the extracting data looks like, and then let's see how the output looks like in the Excel files. So to do that, let's close all this info, and I'm not going to put anything into Action Center for this workflow because in the previous one we covered how to do that. So after extracting this information, I'll add a breakpoint here so that we can actually see how the output looks like for this. So let's hit run and see how the first file looks like. Okay, so we have the values extracted now. Let's see how the output data of this activity looks like in the immediate panel. So my variable is extraction results. So I'm going to print the content of the extraction results over here. So this is not very much readable. So let's get this info into a much more readable format. Let me copy this. So I'm going to use my friend ChatGPT here to easily convert this into a readable format. So here you see the output. So this is the exact same text that we copied, and these are the individual fields we extracted, and here you can see the line items. So it repeated itself to extract the amounts and the line items three times. We had three lines in the first document, and this was the text that we extracted. the tabular data with this separation. And the nice thing here is you can actually see this amount conversion. So it actually converted this data into the format that I need. Same with the date. Here the conversion did not happen because in that JSON I could not provide that format because of the length. But in here you can see the conversion has happened in this tabular string. There you go. Because there we actually specified that. So this is how the output looks like. So now let's quickly write everything into a Excel and see how the Excel file looks like. So as of now, in my output folder, I don't have anything. So let me run this and save everything into the Excel file. One more thing. Let me also show you how this sample input looks like, because that text that I'm generating, I have used that exact same text as the input for this, but here I'm also doing a little bit of a manipulation. If you can see, I'm replacing this space just before this character with the empty space, so I can easily do the conversion. So that's one extra additional thing that I'm doing to get this converted into a tabular format. So let's write this into Excel. So we have a breakpoint up there, so it should, yeah. So it wrote everything, now it's processing the second file. So while that happens, let's have a look at the Excel, which just got created. Okay, so here you can see two sheets, simple fields and line items. Let's expand this. So you see the values, and you can also see the extractor confidence and the OCR confidence. And some of these have -1 and the extracted data, and here is the OCR confidence. And here you have the simple fields. Now let's look at the line items. So in the line items, you can see the table as it is, it got extracted and got converted to a tabular format. So the one extra thing that's left here is this separator, but I think it's fine. We can easily remove that with a little bit of formatting, format changes. So basically, this is how we process um, the data and convert the tabular data into a way that is easier to process. So let's do it for the second document as well. So let's clear this. So it has executed for the second document. Let's quickly see how it looks like. Extraction results. So this is for the second document. Let's see how this looks like. Yeah, so this is the second one. So here you have only one line as you saw, and we actually have the results as we expect. So let's run the workflow and see how the second output file looks like. So the execution completed. Here we have the second file. Let's have a look. So over here we have the extracted information for the simple fields. So it's the same as you see in the usual document understanding stuff. And here comes the line items. So everything is extracted perfectly. So this is how you do the tabular data extraction. And so as you saw in the video, you can do it in two different ways. One, you can get it as a JSON and then process it. The other one is like what we did here, using just a string. The other thing that we explored is do the format conversion on the prompt itself, so you don't need to do a lot of extra work to convert the form, do the formatting, and validate those results. So those are the two main things that we explored in the video. So maybe in another video, let's see what else we can find on these things. If you have any ideas, you can also put everything into the comment section, and we'll try to cover those things. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in another one. Have a good day.